Hi, thanks for joining this channel's video. Today we're unboxing the POCO F7 Ultra. Let's begin. I know, it took me a long time to bring this video to the channel, so thank you very much for your patience during the recording of this video. This device is priced at 11,599 pesos. This for the most basic configuration, because there is also a 512 GB version, and being part of the F series and with the Ultra surname, this is the highest that POCO currently offers. So let's get to know what's inside. Let's begin with the box. It appears large enough, so it shouldn't be too disappointing. First, we'll open this envelope where we'll find the key to remove the tray, the usual items. Here there's some old-fashioned paper, but we won't focus on it in this video. Next we'll see a silicone sleeve. Although in this particular instance with padding, so to speak, it's completely opaque. It won't provide us with any transparency, unlike the traditional gray color seen in the POCO cases. One positive aspect is that they won't turn yellow as time goes by. However, they don't allow you to see the original design of the cell phone. In a little while we'll put it on, and you can tell me whether you would prefer using this phone with the case on or without it. For the moment, it seems that this is everything that came in this envelope. Now let's go ahead and take a closer look at the phone, because here it is. There it is. From this bag we highlight several of its most important features that I will tell you in a moment, but for now let's take it out of this bag. Let's also take off the sticker, and notice in this instance I have the traditional POCO yellow edition. It features some lines here that provide a unique touch to the design, including a completely horizontal line and a curved line that seems to follow the circumference of the camera. So this is how it appears without a case, and this is how it appears with a case. How would you choose to use it? Personally, I don't really like the appearance with the case on. I think the design looks quite unattractive, but that's how it is. I'm curious about your thoughts in the comments. Let's check what else is in the box. We remove this protection and we find the 120 watts charger. I must say that in this case, although I bought it in Mercado Libre, it arrives with the European charger, although if it brings you an adapter stuck up here. It looks very cheap because when they are selling it to you with that experience, but well, it is clear that POCO is a brand that seeks to adjust the price of your device a lot, so somehow we can get to forgive him for that. But it caught my attention because I thought that when I bought it in Mercado Libre, with its official distributor, it would come with a charger adapted to the region. But well, the positive thing is that it comes with a 120 watts charger included in the box. It will offer a very fast charge, at least in theory. We will see in the test if it really gets to take advantage of at least a power close to 120, because we have been disappointed with other devices. It comes with the USB-A port, which I don't like. And I think we are in the middle of 2025 and it is mandatory that comes with USB-C, especially if it is an Ultra model that seeks to refine everything to the maximum. We understand that POCO gets to adjust some things for the price, but I think it is time to go demanding a little more. Let's see that the cable will obviously be USB-A to USB-C with these shades highlighted in orange to be able to distinguish it well. I have mentioned this to you on numerous occasions, but I will say it again, to truly benefit from the full charging capacity of this device, it is essential to use the original cable. Now, let's go over what you will find in the box. As you observed, it includes headphones, which is quite rare these days, as very few devices come with them straight out of the box. One of the advantages here is that it indeed comes with a charger, and yes, it also includes a case. And well, I've already got the device set up so we can get to know it. For now, the combination of a black frame with a yellow back cover seems very curious to me. I don't like it personally, but well, that's purely a matter of personal taste. We will find a thickness of 8.39 millimeters and weighs 212 grams. As distinctive elements of the design will be its camera module surrounded with a golden ring. On the front side, it is protected with POCO Shield glass. I honestly didn't anticipate that. I assumed it would feature Gorilla Glass Victus 2 or something similar, and I would need to test the durability of POCO Shield glass. However, I appreciate that brands are striving to enhance the resistance of devices with their own unique implementations. So in this case, we do not have Gorilla Glass present. By the way, it does come with a mica that is glued on from the factory, just for your information. However, keep in mind that this might vary depending on different regions. This device also incorporates IP68, meaning it is water resistant, which is expected from a flagship model. However, in the same price range, there are other devices that lack this feature. This is why POCO often stands out. It competes effectively in terms of specifications for the price offered. The screen naturally measures 6.67 inches diagonally, featuring a resolution that POCO refers to as WQHD. Specifically, it has a resolution of 3200 x 1440 pixels, achieving 526 pixels per inch. It's an ultra-detailed screen, though the software sets it to full HD, possibly to save battery. In everyday use, you likely won't notice the difference from a regular distance. If you look very closely, you might see a slight difference. For top specs, this device surpasses most. Regarding its screen resolution, it's an AMOLED panel with 120 Hz and a peak brightness of 3200 nits. Clearly, it's going to be a high-quality display. It supports HDR10 and Dolby Vision, so there's nothing to criticize about the display. It features stereo sound with a speaker at the bottom and another in the earpiece area for calls. And I must say, it sounds good. But it's clear that it's not quite at the level of the top flagship models in the market. The sound is wide and powerful, though the mid-frequencies might become slightly annoying at higher volumes. Still, that's a minor critique. For this price, the sound quality is impressive. The front camera has 32 megapixels with fixed focus and an f2.0 aperture. On the screen, you can see the image capture both before and after taking the picture. This allows you to notice that the dynamic range is handled quite well. However, the preview isn't fully optimized yet, which is something we would also like to see perfected in a flagship device, so I would say the experience isn't entirely at 100% like a flagship. But then again, neither is the price, so I think we can overlook these minor details. I just wanted you to be aware of them. The reality of things is that photography with this front camera gives us a very good level of detail, natural colors. I think it will take good pictures. For the back, we have 3 cameras. The ultra-wide camera is 32 megapixels with aperture f2.2, and in this case with fixed focus. Here again, I think it is noted that it is not a full flagship. The ultra-wide camera comes quite simple compared to other flagships, but they are much more expensive. I'm just telling you where we're going to find some cutbacks to go along with the price. The main camera is 50 megapixels with aperture f1.6, autofocus, optical stabilization, and with a good quality sensor. OmniVision Light Fusion 800 is one of the best sensors that this manufacturer has. Finally, the telephoto camera, also 50 megapixels with aperture f2.0, optical stabilization, autofocus, with a focal length equal to 60 millimeters, which is 2.5x plus or minus optical zoom. But let's take a quick look at the results. The ultra-wide camera seems to me to have a good quality, even though it is the simplest of all this system. It comes out well, it has good detail. In general terms, I think it takes a good picture. The main camera has slightly more saturated colors while maintaining the same level of detail. It looks good even. With 2x digital zoom, it maintains optical quality, so it looks very good, this setting reaching 60 millimeters. We jump to the telephoto lens, which of course will have 100% optical quality being a lens, but it lets us go up to 120 millimeters, which would be 5x digital zoom, still maintaining optical quality, so it looks very good at this short and medium distance zoom. At 10x, you start to notice that we are talking about digital zoom, but it still looks good quality. And in 30x, it is much more evident that it is digital zoom, but I insist, I think it solves it quite well. Even so, the device allows us to reach 1440 millimeters of approximate focal length, which would be 60x of digital zoom, but here the result looks much more forced. For video recording, we will find 4K, but not with the ultra-wide camera. The front camera cannot record in 4K either. So there you see 2 other limitations that make the price of this device can be adjusted a little more. But I think at this price, if we could already demand that at least the front camera will also record in 4K, and that's where they cut the experience quite a bit. And honestly, to be an Ultra model, I do not see so many benefits over the Pro model. And even with respect to the base model that already offers us also a good design, good screen, good sound, decent cameras at this case, because we are not seeing a photographic revolution and processors of very good quality, Obviously, in just a moment, we will discuss that topic because right here, we encounter the most powerful option available today. However, I would have appreciated seeing some improvements in other areas as well. In this part, you are getting a glimpse of a straightforward video that was recorded in 4K with this device. Note that the image quality looks good and the transition it makes between the main camera and the telephoto camera is quite good. I thought it was going to be much simpler, but in that sense they have refined the experience to what we would expect from a flagship device. The digital zoom feature in video recording offers us the capability to zoom in up to 15x, and honestly, the image maintains a good level of detail. In that regard, I did enjoy the experience. However, it's important to note that you are unable to switch to the ultra-wide camera if you are recording in 4K resolution. The battery capacity is 5,300 mAh and it supports 120 watts charging with the charger included in the box. It also supports wireless charging at 50 watts. I believe we should discuss the battery more thoroughly once we conduct the testing because specifications can sometimes be somewhat misleading. So in theory, it has a battery that is slightly larger than the average and the charging power is much more powerful than usual. However, we'll see how it performs in the test when we proceed with the review. An intriguing fact is that the fingerprint reader, which is integrated into the screen, is ultrasonic rather than optical like all other models of Little. This means it doesn't need to emit light to recognize your fingerprint, and the recognition speed is very fast. So in this regard, they elevate the experience to a new level, approaching what a full-fledged flagship offers. As for the software, we have HyperOS 2 operating on Android 15. This device includes extra Xiaomi Hyper AI features. In addition to Google's Gemini, which is available on all other devices, furthermore, it offers drafting functions, generative wallpapers, smart editing with an eraser, and many more features. In this way, it can compete quite effectively. However, it will clearly excel most in its performance characteristics as it comes equipped with. Xiaomi includes an additional 4 GB of virtual RAM on top of the 12 GB of physical RAM, with storage options of either 256 or 512 GB. And the processor is the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Additionally, Xiaomi includes another chip known as the Vision Boost D. So it has two chips, the main one and the one that Xiaomi added to handle graphics and improve power efficiency. We'll see how it fares in our tests, but for now let's take a look at the benchmarks. In Geekbench, we got 2,307 points in single core and 8,150 points in multi-core. It must be said that it didn't score as high as other devices using the same processor. I don't know exactly why, but well, they are simple tests. In my Antutu test, it obtained a score of 24,98,394 points. It should be noted that Xiaomi, in their official communications, emphasizes that it can achieve up to 28,43,461 points. I believe this was the maximum score it reached in a controlled laboratory setting. However, I must insist that these are just basic benchmark tests. In the upcoming video review, we will conduct more detailed tests of applications and games on this device. At this point, we have come to the conclusion of this video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to let us know. We look forward to seeing you again next time.